So let's circle back to something that came up yesterday, which is an opportunity in a co-main event spot to take on Marvin Vettori, right? So this rumor came out that Whitaker couldn't make the date. Vettori wants to preserve the date that he's already prepared for. It's only 6 weeks away. He's looking for opponents, and Vettori suggested Till. Now, I like that match very much. I would love that match if it was not a main event. And as of yesterday, I didn't know where the placement on the card of Whitaker versus Vettori was. It just got past me. I had to go do a little bit of research. Well, now I find out the main event is Glover Teixeira, which means this is a co-main event, which means Darren Till, who's working on things, he's changing things. It's what the entire alliance and going out to Sweden and this Chimaev relationship is all about. Changing things up. Hoping to prepare differently, to perform differently. I love the idea that Darren Till can test that theory in 15 minutes. I don't really care who the opponent is. I truly don't. I think that Till has shown he can go with anybody. I think that Till has shown he's as good as anybody. I think whenever you're in one of those tough spots, if you can get out there for 3 rounds as opposed to 5, you're much better off, and this might be the opportunity. So that's a spot that I would like to see. I would really like for Till not to just take that fight, but to bang the drum and demand that he gets the fight. I think a lot of stuff makes sense there. Look, that's a hard night out for anybody. But Till's a hard night out for anybody. And Vettori thinks that he knows Till. We all think that we know Till, but then we're confronted with the fact, no, Till's doing something different now. Till's working on different things now, and he's been doing it for a meaningful period of time. He's probably going to be different, right? Both guys are going to be apprehensive. Both the guys' anxiety is going to be up. Us as fans, we're going to tune in. I think that a lot of it makes sense. Now, 6 weeks traditionally for anybody is a little bit of a quick turnaround, but Till's been working his ass off, and I think he can do it, and I'll stand by that. But Paulo Costa came in. Now, I need to explain this because I believe that Paulo Costa values my opinion. I believe that because I was in a mentorship role when I met Paulo Costa. I was a coach of the Ultimate Fighter, which he came from. Now, I was not his coach. I was an opposing coach. But I very much did care about him and that entire team. And I got to say the same for Vanderlei. He didn't only look after his guys. He did care about everybody going through that experience. So I think that Paulo values my opinion. And until he tells me otherwise, which in fairness would hurt my feelings, but I'm going to continue to give it to him. Because I think he matters. And I think he's a monster. But I think like everybody, he gets so close to the trees, sometimes he can't stand back and see the forest. Paulo Costa is saying he would like to fight Marvin Vettori. Great. Paulo Costa has never called for an easy fight. He has a tremendous amount of courage. He also has 2 blemishes. One of them was to Vettori, and he would like to get it back. Where I say he's a little bit too close to the trees. I don't know that Paulo sees it from Marvin's standpoint. First off, Marvin already did it. Second, Paulo's a really dangerous fight. He's a really hard night out. So when you get away with one, you get it behind you. You don't look to revisit it for no reason. And a home main event spot would be for no reason, okay? In addition to that, Paulo does need to remember he changed the deal on Marvin not once but twice. He changed it to 195 pounds, and then he changed it to 205 pounds. So Vettori's got to be looking at McGregor and going, man, hey, I can't do business with you right now. I just can't. I think we all agree pretty unanimously that Paulo needs to go to 205 pounds. We're going to have to accept that he's not. He's going to make another run at 185. But who that opponent is going to be isn't the one that needs to be giving concessions, not in this case, not for Marvin Vettori. Now, I also bring Paulo up because he was offered, allegedly, a fight with Luke Rockhold. And Luke was going after Paulo pretty hard, but Paulo dismissed it. He said, no, I want a higher-ranked guy. And that's the part, no, Paulo. You have a chance to fight a former world champion, particularly if you think you're going to beat him. That's the match that you want. Forget about the ranking, because nobody knows him anyway. You're never going to get credit for being a ranked guy, for being ranked yourself, or for beating a ranked guy. You will. Sports Center's never going to break in. Jim Rome's never going to cover it. Dan Le Batard doesn't even know. I mean, when I tell you that you will get nowhere because of the rankings, that is a literal statement. None of us fans will know. We're not going to see you go and fight your heart out and you lost, but boy, it was to the number 2 ranked guy. You sure did a good job. We only know if you won or lost. And then there's fights that we want to see, which this is a star-driven business. Luke Rockhold is a main eventer who is a world champion who's been out. There's no bigger fight, not a main event, not a title fight. There's no bigger fight than your comeback fight. You got to leave so that you can come back and have it, or you've done your career wrong. And if Paulo Costa had the opportunity to be standing across from a former champion that people know and that people want to see, I would just really encourage that. I'm going to have to bite down on the bullet because I'm not going to be getting my way. I don't want Paulo at 185. I think Paulo is an instant contender at 205. I think Paulo's got a very hard path back to a championship opportunity at 185. I'm imagining that Adesanya is going to want some fresh blood. Oh, and by the way, it happens to be out there. Cannonier represents that. Sean Strickland represents that. Alex Pierre represents that. And I think that that would incite and entice Adesanya more. I think I could come up with a very easy path to get Glover in there. I apologize. Paulo Costa in there with Glover. I think I could do it in one fight, and I guarantee you I don't need more than two. Which means within one calendar year, Paulo Costa at a new weight class where he's more comfortable, he's going to feel better. He's going to like being able to focus on the sport as opposed to beating the opponent the day before, known as the scale. And in 1 year, he could be having the same opportunity. I think that. I really believe it. But it's going to be an attitude. Got to go back to when Paulo was hungry. Got to go back before he got his name out there, before he got his big attention. That does something to all of us. We all love to say, oh, if I get in that spot, I'm not going to change. Well, few of us get there. And most of the ones that we observe that do change a little bit. And Paulo's going to have to go back and refine that humility. Go back and refine that hunger when he did not care who the opponent was. He didn't care the placement on the card. He didn't care what it was going to pay. He wanted to go out there and compete. That's within him somewhere. I want to get my way. I want him to go 205 pounds. And I'm very confident in telling you, Vettori is not going to fight Paulo Costa right now. Not after the weight debacle, and this is short notice, and he already got done doing it. I'm very confident in telling you that, and I'd like to see Darren Till come in and do that spot. But as much as I think that it's a great opportunity that Till really needs to consider, and he's going to have to make this decision, I mean today, I guarantee on the second floor at the UFC, they are working on that replacement fight right now. Till needs to go out and get that right now, unless he doesn't agree with me. And then Paulo Costa back to Luke Rockhold. That's the fight. Anytime you can get over the world champion, anytime you can beat a more recognizable name. A more recognizable name is a much better victory than a higher ranked opponent.